So it's the Pro 14 final, Leinster versus Glasgow. Who do you think's going to win? Hi guys, so as I mentioned in the last video, I'm getting really into these domestic finals. Saracens-Leinster was an amazing European Cup final. So here's the, as promised, here's the preview of the Pro 14 final, Leinster versus Glasgow. So first of all, it's at home. It's at home for Glasgow. Is that going to be an advantage? Well, I think so, even though Leo Cullen is trying to encourage the supporters in Scotland to get behind Leinster, which has created a bit of controversy. I think there is an advantage there for Glasgow. And it's going to be a tasty, tasty game. Saracens-Leinster was high intensity, but I think what we're going to see more in this game is more open rugby, more chances, more chaotic attack, because Glasgow especially are masters at this. And they absolutely demolished the semi-finals. I mean, they brushed aside Ulster like it was nothing really. They were really, really on fire. Ulster will be disappointed, scored some amazing tries. Their confidence will be high. And once again, Leinster showed, they are a better side than Munster. Munster will be disappointed. I reckon they'd have smelled blood after they think, Leinster got roughed up a bit against Saracens. But no, Leinster said, no, we are the best in Ireland. So absolutely the best two sides there. So can't wait to see this one, see how it goes down. So again, I think this is very close to 50-50, like the Leinster-Saracens game, especially because Glasgow just looking blistering attacking form, especially from broken field play. The range of weapons and options they've got in attack are brilliant. I mean, the defence is great as well, of course, but that's what we're really looking at. Can Leinster control the game? Can they contain Glasgow and stop this amazing attack? It's just going to be fascinating to see. So what was really interesting, well, one of the things that was interesting with the Saracens-Leinster game is Leinster ran at Saracens midfield a lot, as I mentioned in the previous video, and it didn't work at all. Ironically, I think Leinster should do the same thing, actually. I think they should keep ball, run at Glasgow, push them back, don't give them... Don't kick it to them too much, maybe kick it out a little bit and deep, and force them to play, on limited possession and deep in their own half, and then say, okay, are you good enough? And they might be, but at least you're asking a question in a difficult situation. If you give them or allow them to have plenty of possession, it could be a long, long day for Leinster. So I think they go for that possession control game again and show that maybe all round they're slightly classier outfit than Glasgow, even though I think Glasgow possibly have a couple of aces in their sleeve, up their sleeves in attack. Okay, let's look at some players to watch. And I think with Glasgow, yes, they've got some great forwards, but you've got to look at their backs for these real stars. Stuart Hogg, best player they've got, best back they've got by far, an inspiration, real good all-round player, but in attack especially, he creates, he can score himself or he will attract people. He's so dangerous, he attracts defenders and creates space for others. They lose him next season actually, which is a massive loss. I know they'll kind of downplay it and say, we can fill that space, but no, Hogg is their best player by a long way in their backs, absolutely. So he's one to watch. In midfield, watch for Johnson. I think he's been a revelation. I think he's the man for Scotland as well, actually. He creates that danger outside in the centres as well. And then look at Hastings at 10. Young player, but he looks so calm on the ball. He looks a natural playmaker. He has time on the ball and he attracts defenders and he puts people into gaps. And then if they drift off him, he's got the pace to go through. So if they get good ball and plenty of it, as I mentioned before, he's going to cause all sorts of problems. He's like a Finn Russell Mark II. So Scotland are so lucky to have both of those guys who are quite similar sort of players. For Leinster, let's mention one more player for Glasgow actually, off the bench probably. George Horne is electric, absolutely electric. You probably saw that chip through for his brother Peter in the semi. They've done that before. You have to watch out for that sort of thing, but what a player to bring off the bench. He's absolutely rapid and small and ducks through little gaps and real nuisance at the end of the game. So yeah, watch out for those Glasgow backs. They are a treat to watch. So conversely, Leinster have got some great backs, but let's look at some of their forwards to watch out for. Look out for Josh van der Flier. I wondered if he was going to make the European Cup final. It was a little bit too early. He came back in the semi, played great. He's Ireland's best number 7 at the moment with Levy injured. I think that is confirmed for sure. O'Brien's decent, but not quite at that level anymore. So Josh van der Vliet is a fantastic player, could make a big difference. And then the other players I'd pick out is the front row. Okay, Healy, Cronin, Furlong don't get much better. Cronin's on fire. The other two are super strong, great carriers, good in the set piece. They can use those guys, as a cornerstone to try and wear down this Glasgow side, to strangle them, starve them of possession. So anyway, a couple of things to speak about. Sexton was rested for the semi. I say rested, well really, Byrne was given the nod there because he's been playing so much Pro 14. He's almost, he's probably put them in this final a bit more than Sexton actually, so he got the nod in the semi. There's an argument to play him for the final. I don't think they will, but there is an argument. Just imagine that discussion with Sexton if they did that, but I don't think he will. But anyway, Sexton's going to want to win this game. He hasn't had the best season. He got dropped or whatever it was, deselected for the last game, so he's going to be absolutely desperate to win this game. In some ways I hope he'd do for his family. If he lost this game it would be a horrible summer. Anyway, and if you had to push me, I'd probably tip Leinster again, I just think they've got the capacity to they're probably the only team in the Pro 14 that could contain this Glasgow attack if they wanted to shut them down, to keep possession, to starve them as opportunities, and maybe let some of their international class shine through, some of their strength shine through. But anyway, if Glasgow won, I wouldn't be surprised if things got a bit open. But what a great domestic final. Cannot wait for it. Comment below how you think it's going to go. And until the next video, I will see you then.